So before I was allowed to leave the classroom, I had to show my kindergarten teacher this luggage tag that was on my backpack, where my mom had put in a slip that told her I was going home after school as opposed to the after-school care program. And then I looked at the map that, in my mind at least, was stapled into the back of my backpack to let me know sort of the 4 turns I needed to make to walk the quarter-mile home by myself for the first time ever. My older brother, who was in 1st grade, usually walked me home, but today he had a fever, so he got to stay at home and sit on the pull-out couch watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and eating lime jello, and I had to keep it together, focus, and sort of, be a big kid who could get home all by myself. And I trained for this, I told myself this isn't gonna be like the time you walked to the mailbox. So I made sure that I memorized the directions home from school, not the directions to school. I didn't wanna, get reversed. And I recited them to myself a little bit under my breath so that the 4th graders who were walking home too couldn't hear me. It's like crossing guard, left, quick right, your street's on the right, you're there. And I got to the crossing guard booth and I took the right, I took a quick left, and I saw Jessica McDonald's house, and I thought, here I am. I'm doing it. I'm on Eastfield. I'm in the home stretch. And my shoulders relaxed a little bit, underneath my purple backpack straps, and I thought, this is going well. I can do this. And then I started to get a little distracted. There's like a lot of things to think about when you're 5. And at the time, I know I did a lot of thinking about like how good it feels to sit in the recliner and go back and forth and also draw a 5-point star at the same time, because when you end it, you end up going back and forth when you finish the star. Anyway, I thought about things like that, and pretty soon, I saw a street on my right, and I thought, oh, there it is. I've already gotten to my street. It's time to turn. And I had a moment, I think, before I crossed the street when I went back to that time at the mailbox. And what happened at the mailbox was a block and a half from my house. It was a single turn. And I had walked there by myself to mail a letter to a pen pal. I don't even know who I would have been mailing. And I had gotten to the mailbox successfully, and I felt so good. And then after I mailed the letter, I realized I didn't know how to get home, right? Because I had only memorized the way there. So I knew take a right and go straight, but I didn't know how to get back. And if you're someone who gets lost a lot, you sort of know that feeling where you get a little dizzy quickly, and sort of the world swirls around you, and everything looks familiar, but nothing looks like home, because you can't tell if it's familiar because it's the same wrong way you already tried to go. So I just sort of sat at the mailbox and cried, and then bucked up, figured it out, and walked home. So this time, I'm walking home from school. I'm almost there. I'm in the home stretch. I see a right. I look at my map. I consult my map. The map says a right. I cross the street carefully, and I take a right. And as I'm walking down the block, things seem a little weird. I live on a cul-de-sac, but it feels like it's bending the wrong way. But I look at the map. I look at the sidewalk to make sure I'm sort of staying on the right path. And then I look at the numbers, because, numbers don't lie. And my address ends with a 32, so I look and find the mailbox with the number closest to 32 on it. And then I go towards the house that's right there. And the house looks a little weird. My house is 2 stories and has blue shutters. This one's 1 story, has red shutters. And then I go and sit where I think my house is, and I'm confused for a minute, and then I realize Dad must have come home from work early. I see 3 tulips sitting down there, and one of them is smaller and clearly my brother, who I'm jealous of, and one of them is mid-sized and my mother, but the big one has to be my dad. And I spend a couple minutes sitting in this flower garden, this bed of mulch next to a house, crying a little bit, but then because I don't know, am I gonna have to go to school? Am I gonna become a tulip during the night? How is Mom gonna make me dinner? But then I just think, this is my family, we're all together, it's a little magical. Mom looks so beautiful. And then I see this van that looks very much like my parents driving down Eastfield, which I can still see. And I get up and just pause for a second and tell my flower family, like, I'm just checking something out, I'll be back. I go to the end of the block, and then I just walk a little bit further on Eastfield, and all of a sudden, everything looks familiar, and I see the Lovejoy's house on the corner, and I see T-Bays, and I see my front door. And I walk in, glad that I have feet instead of roots, but a little disappointed to say goodbye to my tulip family.